Good morning, everybody. All right, I got an email this morning, and it's going to change the way we fish a little bit here in Oregon. So there is a bill, ORSB 592, that was introduced a couple days ago in Oregon. It's got a 25% progression, and it addresses something that's happening in Oregon when it comes to fishing and hunting. And that's lead poisoning within the water. And that actually is a very real thing that's happening, because I do have a friend that's a fish biologist, and he talks about the water quality here. So this particular bill forbids and prohibits any kind of lead weights being used in Oregon for fishing, as well as for hunting. So if you're a hunter and you use buckshot or anything lead, then you can't use it anymore, at least if this bill passes. So let me read the summary of this bill. Prohibits persons from using lead weight in waters in this state for purpose of angling or commercial fishing. Prohibits person from using lead weight in waters in this state for purpose of angling or commercial fishing. Didn't I just say that? Government, they said that twice and repeated the sentence. Provides that violation is punishable by a maximum of 364 days imprisonment. Just under a year. I don't know who thought that one up. Or $6,250 in fines, or both. Prohibits person from using lead shotgun pellet for purpose of hunting. Provides that violation is punishable by maximum 364 days imprisonment, or $6,250 fine, or both. So, if this is, I'll keep you updated on this, because this has a direct bearing on the way we fish, and we don't want to break the laws. So if this does pass, all of us will be buying tin or brass or tungsten weights to replace all of our weights in our tackle boxes. So we want to make sure that we actually abide by the law and reduce the amount of lead poisoning. From what I understand too, most of the lead poisoning that comes from in the waters is from buckshot. So, but they're going to cover both of these issues. So anyway, that was introduced January 11, 2021. Again, it's 25% progression at the moment. It is Oregon State Bill, or ORSB 592. So it's the Senate Bill 592. That is it before the legislature here in Oregon. So we want to make sure that we keep an eye on that. Make sure that we abide by the laws. So I'll keep you posted as I get information on it. And anyway, keep your lines tight. Don't forget to look at the giveaway I just posted, the winner, as well as the new product for this next week. And please comment, like, and subscribe below. Hey, yeah, yeah, it's gonna. If you replace all your weights with tungsten, it would be very, very expensive. Personally, I cannot afford tungsten weights, because tungsten weights were about, I don't know, a couple bucks each. Yeah, technically they're better. Yes, they don't scratch, they don't chip, and they're more sensitive. But since I am not that rich, it would definitely go to brass for me. And brass is much more affordable. You can get a whole kit of brass weights for $15 to $20 or something like that. So here in Oregon, and it's a real issue. It really is a real issue, from what I'm told from my other fishing buddies and friends. And so it seems like a reasonable thing to regulate. So yeah, it would be expensive, but it's something that we have to do if indeed it gets passed. And maybe we should be doing it anyway. To be honest, since it is a real issue, maybe here in Oregon or other states that have a lead poisoning problem in the waters, maybe we should be gradually or moving over into a different alloy in our weights. It just seems, I mean, why do I have to wait for a law to tell me to do something that it seems reasonable? So this seems to be, for Oregon anyway, something that will probably eventually happen. And in the meantime, maybe while this goes through the legal channels, all of us here in Oregon can go ahead and move from lead to other substances like tin or brass or tungsten if you can afford it. Tungsten is the best. But anyway, you may want to look at moving all your gear over into a different alloy. Now, for those that are making their own weights, smelting their brass and putting it in molds, that's really a bummer. It really is, because a lot of people make their own weights. So imagine what the hunters are going to feel. They can't use buckshot anymore, lead buckshot. They're going to have to go with the much more expensive rounds in their hunting. We actually get off fairly cheap. So you can melt brass. I mean, I don't know why you can't do that. Brass is a soft metal, and you can actually melt brass pretty easily. Not as easy as lead, but pretty easily, because I used to do it when I was younger, and you can do that. And it's prettier. So you always do that. So anyway, you may, if you're in the state of Oregon, may think about doing this anyway. I'm going to do it anyway, because I never really thought about it until I saw this morning's email, because a friend of mine and I were talking about it, and it just didn't click, because he kind of put it more on the impetus of hunters, and it just didn't click too much about fishing. And I was just river fishing the day before yesterday, and it's so rocky, I lost quite a bit of tackle in that river. Yeah, it seems like a reasonable thing to do. So, hey, how you doing? Good morning to you, Stuna. We were just talking about, I was just informing everybody in Oregon, lead weights will probably be outlawed. And we're all going to have to move over to tins or brass or tungsten weights because of lead poisoning that's in the waters here. So it's just one of those things that we're going to be doing here in Oregon. And it seems like a responsible thing to do. Like I said, water quality in Oregon is being affected by lead, and mostly from hunters, but nobody wants a $6,000 fine or a year in prison, or both, which is the penalty proposed in the legislation. So we just want to make sure that we do it right, and we're responsible. In fact, typically the sportsmen or women are probably the most environmentally conscious people. They're the ones that tote in, tote off. They're not the recreational persons that leave their trash behind. They're the ones that pick up. They're the ones that typically care for the environment while out in it, more than the person who's out for a picnic or joyriding on a lake or something like that. So I really think that Oregon sportsmen will get behind this. I don't know if it'll pass, but even if it doesn't pass, I think this is still a responsible thing to do in order to protect the waters that we fish in. And who wants to eat a fish with lead poisoning? I mean, really. There are some lakes in this country that are so bad that you catch and release because of health reasons. You just don't eat whatever you catch out of it. So before it gets that bad here in Oregon, I think this is one of those things that we as fishermen and as hunters, although I don't hunt, should look at converting over to. Just taking care of the earth and the environment. So I will be converting over to probably brass. And because I can't afford tungsten. I mean, if you look at tungsten weights, I mean, 3 weights will cost you $10. Um, and I lose weights. I mean, like I said, day before yesterday in the river, it's nothing but rocky bottom. Um, anyway, you just don't want to go through that. That's just too much money for me. Hats off if you can afford it, because tungsten is the best alloy out there for fishing. So anyway, that's the news. I'll keep everybody updated. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I really do. We want to average 3 people a day, new subscribers. I am working really, really hard at getting subscribers through many different channels. Believe me, I mean, lots of different Facebook groups, the social media, even Facebook. Facebook marketing. I've got a post about our local fishing reports and stuff like that for people here in the Klamath area to subscribe to my channel just for the fishing reports. And that seems to get a few subscribers lately too. So I'm doing everything I can. As for sponsorships, I'm working really, really hard at getting sponsorships. I was on the phone personally. Seems to be the only weight I lose is out of my tackle box. Yeah, I know. Me too. Although all the weight I lose, I seem to be gaining. So I need to get outside more, do more exercise. This week, Monday, I was out ice fishing. Wednesday, I was out river fishing. And believe me, with my lungs, I hit walls and I was really, really hurting. But the more exercise I do, the more weight I can lose, and I can hopefully get my breathing a little bit better. Although the scarring on my lungs is going to be there either way. But this town, for about 60 or 80,000 people or whatever in the metropolitan area, has one pulmonologist. One guy. If I was a pulmonologist, I'd move here, buy a really nice house on the lake, and split the people in this area. I mean, that's what I would do. If you're a pulmonologist, move to Klamath Falls, Oregon, because you can have a really good practice here. There's no doubt, hands down, you would make some serious coin, and cost of living here is super, super cheap. So if you're a pulmonologist watching my broadcast, I request that you move here, and I will be a patient of yours. So anyway, that's the news for Oregon, at least the latest news. I just got a recreational report, so I'm going to be posting a new fishing report. And I will. I have to look at it, read it, and sort of go through it. And hopefully, I'll go fishing later today if I can get somebody to go with me, because as much as I want to go fishing, and my heart says do it anyway, all by myself, my brain says you're a fool for doing it by yourself, at least at this moment. So I want to thank everybody again. Like, comment, share. Please share these videos with people that you know and your social media. And I will, let's make this channel really, really good this year. And if I do get sponsorships, then I'll be able to give away some hardware, some tackle. I mean, if KastKing and I can get together, I would love to give away some KastKing product, because it is my favorite product. It is affordable innovation. You can look at it, look at Amazon, look at KastKing reviews. I mean, it is just a highly rated product, and I love it. I mean, it works really, really well for me. So I want you guys to keep your fingers crossed a little bit for me, and hope I can get some sponsorships. I want to thank you, and thank you for chiming in. Southeast and Tuna, and we will see you guys next broadcast if anything new pops up.